Have you figured out your net worth from last month? Hi everyone, I'm Jackie. Welcome back to another monthly net worth progress report. If you're not familiar with the channel, I talk about goal setting, personal finance, and a little bit about our minimalist lifestyle. Last month I mentioned there's 4 areas on improving your net worth. The first focus here was increasing our income. The second one, increasing our savings. The third, increasing our investment returns. And the fourth, decreasing the cost of living. So did you guys work on any of those? I would like to hear from you in the comments. Today's quote of the month: make it a policy to know your net worth to the penny. T. Harv Eker. T. Harv Eker is the author of Secrets to a Millionaire Mind. I highly recommend checking out the book. Let's go ahead and check out this month's net worth progress report and see how we are doing. Like I mentioned last month, we are comparing our net worth change from the previous month. So on the 29th of every month is the date that I'm choosing to reevaluate and see where we're at. Over here are the key areas that we are keeping track of currently. We have our home value. Now, I mentioned this before, we're just going to be pulling that number off of the Zillow website every quarter. So we did not pull a new one for November. Vehicles, we do actually own a car and a motorcycle. We are not counting our car as net worth simply because we do need at least one vehicle. The motorcycle, though, if for some reason we had to sell the motorcycle, currently it's about worth about $2,500, so that's something that we could sell. As far as any personal belongings here, we're not categorizing that, but if you guys wanted to itemize that out, you could. Cash equivalent, we count our checking account. Like I mentioned, this is kind of the revolving, so money's in and money's out all the time as bills are paid. We have our savings account. Currently, this is our emergency savings. We will be splitting up once we start some sinking funds, and I'll talk about those when we get to those. We currently do not have any CDs or money market accounts. We don't have any cash value for our life insurance. So we do have life insurance policies, but we're not counting that unless something happens and then we had that money to actually work with. Investments, so a retirement account, we are going to be opening up Roth IRAs later on in 2019, so that's probably, we might, as we're putting money aside specifically for that, we'll be marking it there. Currently, we have 3 mutual funds which are inside my husband's 401k, so that's where we have here. We do not have any individual stocks or bonds, and we do not have any other real estate yet. So that's basically our assets. That's the money that we have. Our liabilities is basically all of the debt that you have. We do not have any consumer debt. We've been debt-free since 2016. So our goal is to stay debt-free. We do have a mortgage. We just picked this mortgage up. We bought the house at the end of July, so our first mortgage payment was in September. The goal is to pay this off completely as fast as we can. So our current net worth is $17,130. So let's see how much have we improved since last month. So like I mentioned, for the home value, we're not checking on Zillow every month, so we're just going to put that as a 0 change. Our goal obviously is that that doesn't lose value under what we purchased it for. We purchased it for $165,000. It's currently worth $925 more than we purchased it for, so that's a good thing. The mortgage payoff. So we are actually able to pay another 355 cents towards the principal of our mortgage. So now we only owe $155,566.68. Like I mentioned, our goal is to have that down to 0. We want to have that, we're looking maybe at least 8 years or sooner. We'll see how that goes. Currently, we're just doing 1 extra principal payment. We're going to be trying to bump it up to 3 extra principal payments a month to make that happen in the future. Now, checking account. October, we only had $200 at the time of the 29th. This time we had $1,000, so that's up $800. I mentioned we would like to try to have maybe $2,000 in there, and that's what our minimum monthly expenses are, not including saving and investing and play money or anything like that. It's just our basic necessities. So we want to maybe have that in there. So we're getting close to that goal, but that's an $800 increase from last month. Savings, we did not have any change in savings. You guys saw that on the budget report card. We could have saved quite a bit, and we spent it with the holidays coming up. We went a little crazy. The goal is $40,000, and that's between 3 different types of savings. Our emergency fund, which we would like to have $12,000 saved. Our girls fund, so $10,000 each, so $20,000 for our girls, and then a car replacement fund of around $8,000. So that's what we're looking at. Got some work to do. Investing, I mentioned this is my husband's 401k. Now he just started his 401k in June, and we're only doing 3% currently because we want to try to get back on track of saving the emergency fund. So from October to November, we actually had an increase of $134.58. Now we ourselves put about $119 into there, and so we saw a little bit of a growth there, which is nice. Last month we actually lost a little bit of money. This month we saw a little bit of growth, which is nice. Now this is just what we've put in. My husband's company does do a company match, but it's a profit share matching, so we will not see that match until after they are done doing all of their taxes and everything like that. So we'll see. This will be my husband's first year getting that. We'll have to see what it is. I think last year they said they matched about 60%, to the dollar. So we'll have to see how that is. Our first goal is to have $250,000 invested, and that's our bare minimum of our financial security number, which would basically pay for, this is if we were mortgage free, but this would cover our monthly expenses of just our bare minimum living expenses. It would not include any giving or fund money. It would just bare necessities. But we want to get to this number first. Then we want to increase it to our independence number, which would then cover our current lifestyle, and then our financial freedom number, which would actually have our current lifestyle plus a little bit of luxury added to that. So this number will change over time as well. Our net worth last month was $16,195. So like I mentioned, it's now $17,130. So we increased our net worth by $935. So that's about 5.8% from last month. So we're still on track, even though we did not make any progress with our emergency fund. Our net worth is still going up in the right direction, so that's what we are looking for. I mentioned this last time. The total debt that we had once we started focusing on paying off debt was $24,000, and it took us about 2 years to do that. We actually had more debt than this, but we had paid some of that before we got into the grind. And then year to date, our net worth, basically all of our net worth growth has been this year. Even though we paid off our debt in 2016, we had net worths higher as far as emergency funds were saved, and then they were spent, and then we had a net worth higher, and then we spent that money on the down payment for our house. So we have had this fluctuation over the last year, and so this year finally is a true positive net worth of $17,130. So we'll have to see how next month goes. So join me every month. We're going to see how it goes, and then as we get more progress, we can look back and take a look at how the year went. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me for another monthly net worth progress report. How are you doing with your net worth? Do you know what you have? Are you calculating it to the penny? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.